basically the defense argument is that because Canada does not have sanctions against Iran, Meng Wanzhou, the Huawei CFO, could not have committed a fraud because without sanctions there's no fraud. Today the federal government argued against that. They said this is all based on a fraud, that she did commit fraud, and the reason that she made the lie, she wasn't trying to avoid, the reason that she lied was because of the sanctions. So their point is she made a lie, she made a misrepresentation, that is in fact fraud, and that is against international law, whether or not sanctions existed or not. There also another point of the case is that in the past the defense has suggested that even if Meng were to have or allegedly committed this fraud, it didn't really affect the bank in any way. The Crown argued no, it could have had the potential to affect the bank's reputation, and losing and being accused of being involved in dealing with Iran at the time would hurt its reputation, and that in fact causes deprivation or a loss. He said our case is simple. This is a lie, and this is a fraud. And the sanctions, as I said, she lied because of the sanctions, and that's the difference. They're arguing that the sanctions made her lie, and the fact that she lied is a fraud, whether or not there are sanctions or not. If there were no sanctions, then she would have committed this misrepresentation to a bank, and said they would still be a fraud, and that was basically their case. Now, for this part of this hearing, both sides have agreed basically to the fact that there was a misrepresentation. That's just for the issue of double criminality, they have agreed to this. They agreed to what they called in the original case against her, that there was a misrepresentation to the bank. Both sides have agreed to that for this part of the case. 2013, Meng Wanzhou, Meng Wanzhou, the Huawei chief financial officer, met with representative of the HSE Bank in Hong Kong. She did a PowerPoint presentation to discuss whether or not one of their companies was doing business, a company, a Huawei subsidiary, was doing business with Iran. And at the time, she basically said, no, they're not. Tomorrow morning, the defense gets to reply to what the Crown said, and then the judge will, the Chief Justice will, or Associate Chief Justice, will take all the information and will make consideration. She'll deliver a decision sometime. You'd think it could be up to 2 months for her to make her decision.